Okay, so I'm gonna talk about all the accidents I've gotten into when I was a kid. This way I don't forget. I've had many concussions. My attention span's very short. I probably have brain injuries, so I'm gonna start right off. I believe my first accident was getting abused as a baby by my parents. Probably because I was crying and I annoyed them or something. I don't know what it was. So that's number one. Number two, I was in a car accident in Florida. They say the Floridian didn't know how to drive right and they smashed into us. We were in a van. I think it was a white van. I was in the car with my parents. I was in the back in a baby seat. Then there was another accident. Or actually, I'll say before that, I was getting abused again by my parents. Probably because I imitated my father and said some swear words. Then there was another accident. My mom left me in the car, and she forgot the I think she forgot something, and I put the car into neutral, trying to drive away. I tried to drive away because I remember her beating me, and I wanted to go to Florida, and I don't know what else I was thinking. I don't know if I was thinking about. Maybe I was thinking she wasn't my real mother. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I know I was trying to go to Florida because I missed Florida so much. I wanted to go back, and I wanted to get away from the abuse. Okay, so then there was what other time? One time I squirted milk in my cousin's face, and he smacked me as hard as he could. Um, my mom says that was my father who did that. Bullshit. He never did that. Another time, that same guy who smacked me in the face told me, don't say the N word in front of your black cousins. And I said, why? Why? He's like, don't do it. Just don't do it. I was like, okay. And I went to go hang out with my black cousins that day, or was it the day later? I forget. And I said the N word, and one of them beat the crap out of me. And the other one, luckily, didn't want to see his brother go to jail. He was like, yo, you gonna get in trouble, you gonna get in trouble. And stopped him from beating the shit out of me until I was dead. What other times did I get it? Okay, there was one time I went down I went down the Butler Road on a scooter. I went down a few times, and I was having a blast. And one of the times a car came, perfect timing. It slowed down as I was coming, like as if it was trying to get me to hit him. So that way he could collect insurance money or something. I don't know what he was thinking. Or maybe he was just trying to avoid hitting me because he saw a kid on a scooter. Maybe he thought I couldn't stop, which I couldn't. I was slamming on the brakes and it wouldn't work because the wheels started to eventually, on little scooters, eventually the brakes wear out. So, and I was going very fast down the hill, and I ended up tripping. I tried to jump off the scooter. I fell. I tripped. And I smashed my face right into a fire hydrant pole. Another time, I remember my Aunt Annie came over. She was supposed to clean the house, but she started smoking crack instead. And everybody loved the way it smelled. They started running over to her. And I have asthma, so I didn't like it. And they asked me if I wanted to come sniff it with them. And I was like, no, I want to go outside. I don't feel good. They let me go outside, and I was bored. I was hanging. I was just playing around. And I saw some broken bricks in the backyard. They were very, very weak. They were crumbling just by touching them. I picked them up. I started smashing them against the house because I thought it was fun. The bricks would explode. It didn't cause any damage at all. So I knew it was okay. But my dad freaked out, started threatening to kill me, forced me to get inside the house, punched me on my back as hard as he could. I passed out. I was out for maybe 10 minutes. I don't know what he did while I was knocked out. He could have been punching me the whole time. My mom and my Aunt Annie, who's the crackhead, they got in the way of him. Well, after I got up, I woke up and I just started running around. I started to try to run away from him. They got in the way, stopped him. Then I ran into my room. My sister came in to comfort me, and she said everything's gonna be okay, and my dad rushed into the room, grabbed a metal fondue set that had forks in it that was outside of my bedroom. It was on top of a storage storage thing. I forget what they're called. And he threatened to throw it at me and kill me with it. My sister kicked him in the stomach, said, "Get the fuck away from my brother," and he left me alone. But then later that day, I don't know what happened, I ended up forgetting everything. So maybe he punched me so hard I had a concussion. What other times did I get into accidents? Football, I gotten hit a lot in football. That's normal. You expect to get hit in football. You get concussions. That happens. Especially when you're trying to win the game and you play as hard as you possibly can. The other side plays as hard as they can, and you get hit pretty hard. You could get. I had the wind knocked out of me a couple times getting hit. I'm not saying that caused any concussions either, but it might have. Another time, I was hanging out with this kid that was on the bus with me, Cody, who I thought I thought was my friend. I don't know. We were climbing trees in his backyard, and I fell out of the tree and smashed my head into his brick, a brick that was on the ground. Perfect placing. It was perfect placement. I smashed my head right on a brick. He was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't feel good. I gotta go home." And I walked slowly home, and I was like limping, and I was like, it was like I was intoxicated on booze almost. I could barely make it home. And my mother just told me to go to bed. Just like she did when I came home from the scooter accident, she told me just go to bed. Never brought me to the hospital. Shows you what type of woman she is. She's always watching TV, never watching me. What other concussions could I think of? There's another one. Now, I had a speech impediment, and I was obese when I was a kid. So, I had a lot of bullies. And one of the bullies I threatened to kill, because my dad taught me to threaten people. That's how he always would freak out on me. So I thought it was normal just to fucking threaten to kill people. I was dumb. I had concussions. My brain wasn't working right. So I started threatening Bolin and this other kid who was making fun of me. I picked my bike over my head. I was going to smash my bike into them. And they started to run away. They hopped over the fence. I couldn't get over the fence really good. It was the first time I ever jumped the fence. They were saying, "Ha, fat ass, you can't jump a fence." And then when I jumped the fence, they were terrified. They said, "Got out of there quick." And then after that, I think they're related to Kyle Simmons, these two guys I'm talking about. And Kyle Simmons and his cousin, another guy named Kyle Simmons, coincidentally, they claim they have no connection. After this happened, I asked them about it. He's like, "No, we're not brothers. We don't hang out. We don't know each other. It's just a coincidence. Two guys named Kyle Simmons were in the same town together, in the same class." I don't buy that at all. But anyways, Kyle Simmons came out of nowhere and jumped out of the car, started beating the shit out of me. And Kyle was a little bigger, was a little taller. He was a little older. I was scared out of my mind. I thought I was getting attacked by a wolf. I started to realize it was him, and I was like, "Dude, we're in football together. We're in football together. Relax." And it didn't stop him. He started laughing even harder. And I think the only reason he stopped was because I started to kick him. I had to kick him to get away from him. And that was the only reason he stopped. Wait, actually, no, I think, no, he went even harder after that. And I think the only reason he stopped was because I was screaming, "Help! Help! Help!" And some neighbor in some guy in Chadwick's, who was the neighbor of the church that I was at. I was in the church parking lot across the street from the church. The guy came out. He was pissed. I think it was during dinner time or something. He was pissed. He was like, "I'll beat both of your asses. You better fucking stop." And then that saved me, I think. Because the guy, Kyle Simmons, got scared. He didn't want the cops showing up, so he got out of there. What other times can I say I got beaten up? Another time I got beaten up. It wasn't a concussion or anything, but it was really horrible. It was really mean. A grown man assaulted me when I was just maybe 16 years old. That's child abuse. His last name is Smith. I forget his first name, but his son's name is Zach Smith. And that was like my friend, kind of. We hung out a lot. And he invited me over to a snowball fight. I went over to their snowball fight. I was kicking their ass in a snowball fight. They absolutely suck at playing snowball fights. They suck at snowball fighting. Couldn't land a single snowball on me. And then it got his father mad. So his father tackled me by the fire. Also, I think his father's a racist, so it helped him do that even more. He tackled me by the fire, pinned my arm up over my head, made me say I was a pretty little princess because I had a speech impediment at the time. That was really, really bad. I think they recorded it. We were laughing and everything. And then as I was crying, walking away after he let me go, he shot me in the ass with a BB gun. He's lucky I didn't turn around perfect time to get my eyeballs shot out. That would have absolutely destroyed his life. We would have sued him. They would have destroyed him. These are dumb scum that don't think before they act. Worthless, lifeless pieces of fucking shit. Cowards. Cowards that attack a child. Another time I got beaten up was during football. After football, during the party. Those who are familiar with football, sometimes there's parties after football. And for some reason they invited me, even though he didn't want me there. It was Alec Vos. He didn't want me there, but for some reason they invited me anyways. Maybe his father wanted me there because he wanted to flirt with my mother. But I showed up, and I was just a normal kid trying to have fun, being friendly to them. I had a lot of problems. Like, for an example, I was raped when I was 3 years old, allegedly. My mother said she didn't watch me good enough. I went in the back of her grandma's house, and a little girl, allegedly a little girl, even though I remember I'm a grown man, a little girl allegedly kissed my birdie, quote unquote, is what I told her after it happened, and I was crying about it or whatever. I was all confused or whatever. So after that, I was sexually active my whole life. And so I was a weird kid. Maybe I said something weird to them and it pissed them off while we were swimming in the pool. Or maybe they just didn't like me either way. I don't know. Because I was slow. And I was obese. And I stunk like Sand Monkey. So maybe they just didn't like me. And they started being mean to me, and I started crying. I was like, I want to go home. I'm gonna talk to your dad and get him to call my mom and so I could go home. And they're like, no, you're not going anywhere. You're supposed to be hanging out with us. Quit being a bitch or something. They said something like that. And they tackled me while I was in the hallway trying to escape. And I remember nothing. I think they beat me up or something. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know if that happened, to be honest. I don't know if they beat me up. I know they were mean to me, and I got my mom to bring me home early. I know that was a fact. Now, what other times can I say I got beaten over my head? And so this way I could say anything you say I'm wrong for, you can't blame me fully. You can't blame me fully at all. Anything. So whoever's listening to this in the future, if you hate me, that's too damn bad. It's not my fault. Matter of fact, it's probably your fault if you're a lifeless machine. I theorize all these scumbags around me who do crack and are into all these crimes and they're all losers. I really theorize that they're not losers. They're just lifeless machines. China is 300 times... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was... China's robots are 3 million times faster than ours. That's an actual statistic. You could fact check that. So that means any one of you can be Chinese robots. I don't trust any single one of you scumbags. This is like a communist invasion or something. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care if you're aliens. I don't care. You're scum. You're scum. And I will defend myself to the death. I am an innocent man. I never did anything wrong. I deserve those dating apps to work. I deserve those women. I deserve friends. I deserve people around me. I deserve family, real family. But I have scumbags constantly abuse me. Matter of fact, I think the first time I was abused, I was actually at Disneyland, and I was kidnapped. There was no water for miles. Disneyland does not supply they didn't. If you look it up, there was cases where they didn't have water for their customers, and people started getting dehydrated. And when people start getting dehydrated, they're weaker, and they go to a bench and sit around. And that's when some scumbag terrorist shows up and kidnaps kids. That's how they do it. Some Mujahideen member will come up and beat the shit out of you and your baby and steal your baby. That's what they do in our country. That's what they do. They get away with it all the time. And there's no way to prove that they did it because the Mujahideen member says, oh, this is my baby, I had him in Jamaica. But he didn't have you in Jamaica. And then they'll get a fake birth certificate and everything, or they'll hack the hospital. That's happened many times. The hospital gives out fake birth certificates all the time. So it's very believable. If you're abused as a baby by your own father, chances are high he's actually a Mujahideen member. It's very likely. There's a lot of Mujahideen in this country because during the Cold War, we gave these scumbag pieces of shit weapons, and we gave them money, and we tried to get them to help us fight the Soviet Union. But they didn't do anything in the Soviet Union at all. The Nazis ended up fighting the Soviet Union. And the Soviet Union were peaceful good guys, so there's no point even going after them in the first place. It was a giant mistake. America's entered way too many wars by mistake and didn't realize what they were doing. We should have been going to war with ourselves. Policing ourselves, going after ourselves. Because we're the criminals. And when we have enemies that come here, they're criminals too. You could wage war on yourself. Donald Trump just sent helicopters to LA. God bless Donald Trump. Donald Trump is an angel. Donald Trump is going to blow the trumpets, the last and final trumpets, on you scumbags. And you're all going to learn a hardcore lesson. You're not above the law. You have no right to abuse a baby. You have no right at all to abuse a baby. You are a scumbag. I just thought of another time I got abused. I called my mom a big fat bitch, and she smacked me in the face as hard as she could when I was about 10 years old. So, yeah, I have no good memory at all. My memory is shot. I have a short attention span, and it's not my fault at all. And you could sit there and label me this or that, but you got to remember, I had brain injury. It's a miracle I'm still even alive. Oh, I just remember another time I had a concussion. I actually went to the hospital for this one, and they'll probably still lie and say, you never went to the hospital. They'll try to hack the hospital and everything, and they'll fail. They'll get caught. I actually fell in my mom's back patio after she stun gunned me. She locked the door on purpose. I was only gone for about a half an hour. I said I'd be right back. I told her I was going to be downstairs. She locked the door. She hid the key. And then when I knocked on the door to have her come open it, I remember her arm slowly reaching in and stun gunning me. She had a stun gun, and it broke, and then she gave it to me afterwards. It broke after all this happened. So that means she broke a stun gun using it on me. And I'm pretty sure. I don't know for sure. Either way, I fell. So we could say it was an anxiety attack, because I was having an anxiety attack because I smoked Bobby's weed, and in his bowl had a little crack cocaine in it. I was way too high. Her downstairs neighbor, Bobby, is a crackhead. And I got way too high. So I ran upstairs. I didn't feel good. So maybe it was anxiety, or she did stun gun me, and she's not my real mother. Either way, whatever, it doesn't matter. all that matters is I definitely did, for the sake of this video, it does matter, but for the sake of this video, all that matters for this video is that I did fall and hit my head so fucking hard, the neighbors next door heard it. So you could say I got problems all you want, or you could say this or that, I'm crazy, but I have brain injury. Do you know what that's like? I could show you what that's like. You wouldn't function good either afterwards either. I smashed my head so hard I had to go to the hospital and have a brain exam done on me. And that wasn't the only time I fell. I fell twice that day that I remember. The second time was in front of the fridge. I was begging for water, and they never gave me a glass of water, and it took them forever to call 911. And my mom let me sit in the back patio passed out for about half an hour until my sister showed up. If it wasn't for my sister, I'd probably be dead. I think she let my sister decide, should we call 911 or just let him sit there all night? Now, my mother told me she sold pills to Patty Lou. I know for a fact she sold her Xanax to Patty Lou. Everyone in her family is a hardcore drug addict. So it's very believable. She would do something like that because I robbed her when I was a kid. After she beat me my whole childhood and threatened me. She threatened to kill me a couple times too. So of course I had to rob her. I robbed my father. I convinced her to leave my father because he was abusing her too. I told her, I want you to be happy. You do what makes you happy. She did what made her happy. She didn't give a shit about her marriage, her oath to God. She left my father, sick with cancer. Which I think is a sin, because if he's really that bad, you should try to help him. You should try to help him. He's got a problem. He's mentally unstable. He's physically unstable. He needs help. And you could do it in a nice way that doesn't piss him off, too. You could be very patient with him. And be understanding, realize he's a dumbass. He got hit around, too. He got into a lot of fights. He's been hit around. He was in football. So it's very believable. His mind's all messed up too, and he's prone to make mistakes too. So instead of forgiving him, she left him sick with cancer. And what else can I say? What other times did I get hit around? I lost my mind. There's been so many memories. I remember, like, my uncle took me, before I was 8 years old, took me to Bald Mountain. And I remember Bald Mountain. I remember his Jeep. I remember the sand dunes. But I don't remember the hike at all. And that scares me. It makes me think, could my uncle, my ER doctor uncle, have been a part of any of these concussions? Or was it my parents the day before and he actually saved my life? If it wasn't for my ER uncle doctor, I would be dead right now. He might not even be my real uncle either. But I would maybe count him more of a family member than any of these fucking people around these crackheads. If that was the case. Because he's a doctor. He would remember all these visits I went to the hospital. I believe he would remember that, and he'd think it's wrong. You're not supposed to send a child to the hospital. That's the most evil, wrong thing you could ever do in a million years. You are disgusting. You are wrong. Look what they did to the hospital in West Utica. They bombed the Utica psych ward. The old main Utica psych ward. They bombed it. I'm not saying the same people. I'm not saying they're connected to my family. I'm just saying There are bad people in this world, and I'm throwing them all on the bus right now. These bad people have done really bad things. Bombing hospitals is one of them. Imagine you're an ER doctor or any doctor, and you're trying to do your damn job, and you get bombed by psycho-terrorists. You wouldn't like them either. You wouldn't want to be on their side at all either. Abusing children is for losers, gluttonous sinners, Mujahideen members who rape their wives and force them to wear all brown, what is it called? When you wear clothing that is the same color and the same design, romper. That's what it is, a romper. I'm pretty sure he made my mother wear a all brown romper. That means it's basically like a burqa, but it doesn't cover the face or head. He was, I'm pretty sure, forcing her to wear that. When she was 18, I think he forced her to live in the house with him. And I think that might be why gangsters shot up his house, because they were sick and tired of hearing screams next door. Because we don't play that shit in this country. That's how we do it in this country. You want to torture women? They want to shoot up your house now. That's how it works in this country. You're not going to terrorize our people. You're not going to destroy our infrastructure. We'll destroy our own infrastructure just to get rid of you. We just enacted drone striking American citizens. Obama. Thank God for Obama. He's the best. So they just drone striked, I believe, over on Mohawk and South Street. That roof got blown up. There was probably a terrorist Mujahideen member in the crawl space hiding. That Lebanese terrorist is gone. Thank God. Anyone who can abuse a baby is a sicko weirdo and needs to be drone striked in their own home. There is no helping them. There is no getting them better. They're going to be evil to the day they die. To the day they die, they'll be evil. You can't save any Muslims at all. At all. It's impossible. Same thing goes for the Jews, but right now the Jews are a minority group in the Middle East, and that's unfortunate. I'm not saying we should stop giving them funding or give them more funding. I'm just saying maybe we should be a little bit more on their side right now. Because Islam is taking over. There's more Muslims everywhere. Right now, India is sicking dogs on Muslims, making dogs literally eat their ball sacks off. Because these evil scumbags rape women and abuse babies. So what are you going to do to them? Have a dog rip their, you know what, off. That's what you'd maybe do, right? I'm asking you like as if that's what you'd maybe do. If somebody beat your baby and raped your daughter, you maybe want to have a dog rip their balls off. They are disgusting monkeys. They're all evil. They stole the corner stores from the real Italians. They're the first ones to do that in America, the Lebanese. I looked up my alleged Lebanese family, and they're all blonde hair, blue eye, and black people. Mixed. So Scottish Nazis mixed with black people. They're not real Italians at all. And one of them actually was one of them posted child porn on Facebook, and I reported it and got taken down. So they like child porn, they're scumbags, they sell hardcore drugs, they steal corner stores, they shoot up buildings, they kill people, they'll beat up their... Oh yeah, I just remember another time I got beaten up at the corner of Blendiana Street and Mohawk Street. I was with Tommy Caruso, and this fat psychopath pulled up out of nowhere, started beating his ass, and then beat my ass. Stole my stiletto and stole my gold necklace. I had a gold Italian horn necklace. He stole it from me. I don't know what we did to deserve that. I don't remember a damn thing. It's wrong, though. It's wrong regardless. I was just an innocent baby. Whatever I did wrong, they convinced me to do it. I think I stole Butterfingers from the old General Dollar over by Hannaford's on Mohawk Street and Eagle Street. And maybe that's why they did it. I don't know. Maybe the Jews that own the store hired some Hezbollah member or somebody to do it. It seems like they work together sometimes. It almost seems like they'll still kill each other, but like the Jews will have the Muslims do their dirty work all the time. It almost seems that way. It almost seems like they work in tandem, and they're not even bombing Muslims in Lebanon. They're bombing they're bombing Catholics. Maybe it's believable. We need to nuke all of Israel, if that's theory's true. I don't know. I'm not the commander-in-chief. I can't make these decisions. But if he really is truly a good man and a good leader, he'll think of what to do. He'll think of what to do. He'll do it. And God, we pray that the next president is good like him too. A good leader who gets rid of these terrorists in LA, calms them down like he's supposed to. That's a good leader. That's a good leader. Everybody around me hates him. Everyone blames him for everything. Anytime something goes wrong, they're like, Trump, Trump, Trump. But every time something goes right, I'm the only guy going, Trump, Trump, Trump. That's what it feels like. I'm going to end it on that. Be aware we have these dirty, monkey, Mujahideen members. I can't even remember the name for some reason. It's just like anesthesia. I always forget what that means. And that could be because I've been under anesthesia many times. Many, many times. And that's another reason why I have so many concussions and brain injury. I actually just recently went to the psych ward and I had to pay for anesthesia. A separate bill. And I don't remember ever getting anesthesia. So that's a sign to me that the hospital illegally attacked me while I was in the room. Because they deemed me as unsafe. Even though I told them I wasn't planning on doing anything, it was just a joke. They didn't care. They probably attacked me in the hospital room, beat me up, and then gave me anesthesia. Matter of fact, it was probably after, it probably wasn't in the ER. In a different video, I said it was probably in the ER part of the hospital, but it probably wasn't. It was probably after I started shaking like a leaf. It was probably after they gave me my first injection. They realized that injection wasn't doing anything. So they probably beat the shit out of me and gave me anesthesia. So that was another time I probably got brain injury. And they'll lie and say I deserved it, I attacked somebody. They'll say, bullshit, I'm so peaceful I would never attack a fly. But these people would, and they're going to get bad karma for it. They're going to go to hell for this. They might have balls ripped off. They might. God bless the Indian people. God bless the Hindus. God bless them. I believe in God. I think that's okay to say. God bless them. If it offends them, I apologize. I know this religion seems stupid as fuck. It's being controlled by these scumbag Nazi little Jews. They pretend to be Catholic all the time. They killed all the Native Americans. They tried to kill all the Indians. They tried to kill all the Chinese. They killed all the Africans in Australia and Africa. And these are scumbag Nazis taking over the planet. They pretend to be Lebanese. They're not even real Lebanese. They pretend to be Italian. They're not real Italian. They're all scumbags. They're all worthless scumbags. And I'm going to end it on that. I don't know what else to say. Jews are inherently evil, and Muslims are worse. I'm going to end it on that.